The internet is on fire tonight, and you won't believe why. Rumors are swirling, DMs are leaking, and fans are asking the question that everyone's been afraid to say out loud. Did Kirk Frost just get caught cheating again? That's right, the man who swore he'd changed, who promised Rashida that the old Kirk was gone for good, might have just been caught slipping. And this time, the evidence is way too messy to ignore. It all started with a blurry photo, one that hit the blogs at 2:13 a.m., and spread across social media like wildfire. The picture showed Kirk, looking way too comfortable at a dimly lit Atlanta lounge, seated a little too close to a mystery woman with long auburn hair and a diamond anklet that fans swear they've seen before on a well-known model from his past. Within minutes, hashtags like hashtag Kirk caught again and hashtag RASHEEDA deserves better started trending. And fans were demanding answers. But that's just the beginning, because according to an anonymous insider, someone claiming to be very close to the Frost family, this wasn't just a casual night out. This was a secret meetup that had been planned for weeks behind Rashida's back. Allegedly, Kirk had been using a burner phone, one that Rashida didn't even know existed, to coordinate late-night business meetings that were anything but professional. And when that same source dropped screenshots of text messages that read, "Don't post nothing tonight. Let's keep it low-key till after the event," the internet collectively lost its mind. Fans started dissecting every message, every emoji, every timestamp, looking for proof that the man who once admitted to fathering a child outside of his marriage might be back to his old ways. Meanwhile, Rashida's Instagram went quiet. No stories, no selfies, no motivational posts, just silence. And that silence spoke volumes. Her fans flooded her last post, a photo of her smiling in front of her boutique, with thousands of comments like, "Girl, please tell me this isn't true, and we're praying for you, Queen." Then, to make things even more suspicious, Kirk was spotted the next morning, leaving the Frost Bistro alone. No wedding ring, no Rashida in sight. Cameras caught him looking tense, avoiding questions from paparazzi. And when one bold reporter asked, "Kirk, who was the woman last night?" he just smirked, shook his head, and muttered, "Y'all always reaching." But were they? Or was this just another chapter in the long, complicated saga of Kirk and Rashida, a couple that's been through more public scandals than most reality stars could survive? Because if the whispers are true, if Kirk's secret meetup was really what people think it was, then this could be the betrayal that finally breaks one of love and hip-hop's most infamous couples for good. And trust me, what comes next is even wilder. Because when Rashida found out what really happened that night, all hell broke loose. Stay tuned, this story is about to explode. The night was thick with tension, the kind of tension that makes your chest tighten and your mind spin in circles. And Kirk Frost had just pulled up to the dimly lit lounge on the outskirts of Atlanta. The neon signs flickered above, casting eerie shadows across his face. And even from the parking lot it was clear something was off. Fans might think he was just grabbing a late-night drink, but insiders had been whispering for weeks about secret meetings and hidden messages that no one was supposed to see. Kirk parked his sleek black SUV a little further from the entrance than usual, checked the rearview mirror twice, and stepped out with a casualness that didn't match the storm brewing inside him. Inside the lounge, music thumped in a way that made every heartbeat feel louder, every breath sharper. A woman with long auburn hair and a gold anklet caught his eye immediately, and it wasn't by accident. He walked toward her table with a purpose that made even the bartender glance up in curiosity. She smiled, a slow knowing smile, as if she'd been expecting him. "You're late," she whispered, her voice soft but edged with something dangerous. "Traffic," Kirk replied, though his eyes betrayed the truth. He hadn't been late, he had been careful. Every step, every text, every alibi had been planned to perfection. Except tonight, something felt different. The tension in the air wasn't just theirs. It was as if the universe itself was watching, waiting for the inevitable fallout. They talked quietly at first, their conversation barely audible over the bass-heavy music. But each laugh, each subtle touch, sent ripples through the room, noticed by the few sharp-eyed patrons around them. Kirk's hand brushed hers just a little too long, a touch that was casual only on the surface. He leaned in, and she laughed softly at something he said, a laugh that seemed to echo in his chest far longer than it should have. Meanwhile, outside the lounge, Rashida's phone lit up with a series of notifications she couldn't ignore. Friends were texting in panic, fans were tagging her in posts she hadn't seen. And the photo that had leaked on social media burned brighter than any spotlight. It showed Kirk, unmistakably him, sitting too close to the auburn-haired woman, his hand resting near hers. The captions screamed scandal, even though no words had to be spoken. The image spoke for itself. Rashida felt her stomach drop. She had been through drama before, seen secrets unravel, but nothing hit like this. She paced her penthouse, the city lights casting shadows across her face. Her mind racing through every conversation she'd had with Keon in the last few weeks. Had she missed the signs? The late-night texts he claimed were work. The sudden disappearances during family dinners. Each memory twisted painfully as she replayed it, imagining the conversations. The hidden meetings, the betrayal that might have been happening under her nose. Inside the lounge, Keon's companion leaned closer. "You think she knows?" she asked, voice playful but with a sharp edge that made his stomach knot. "She suspects." "Maybe," Keon admitted, a bead of sweat forming at his temple. "But she doesn't know everything. Not yet." The conversation hung in the air, unspoken truths vibrating louder than the music. Somewhere in that moment, he realized the web he had spun was tighter than he thought. And one wrong move could unravel everything. Back at home, Rashida's friends were calling incessantly. "Girl, are you seeing this?" One shouted over the phone. "What the hell is he doing?" Another demanded, her voice trembling. Rashida gripped her phone, staring at the screen as if it held the answers to a puzzle she didn't want to solve. Emotions ran high, her heart pounding, every second stretching into an eternity as she debated her next move. Should she confront him immediately, or wait and gather more evidence? The tension was unbearable. Meanwhile, Keon's night grew even more complicated. The lounge was starting to empty, and whispers of his presence had begun circulating online. Fans were piecing together sightings, timestamps, and even screenshots of conversations that hinted at secret meetups. One blogger posted a message claiming to have inside information, tagging Keon and Rashida and daring the world to notice. "They're onto us," Keon muttered under his breath, checking his phone again. The auburn-haired woman smiled knowingly. "Let them watch. We've got tonight." But as the night progressed, small cracks started appearing. A waiter lingered too long with suspicious glances. A patron recognized Keon from a previous incident and pulled out their phone. And the subtle hum of gossip grew louder than the bass of the music. It was a delicate dance, and for the first time, Keon felt the weight of the stakes pressing down like never before. Outside, Rashida finally made a decision. She couldn't sit idle while the whispers of betrayal consumed her life. She called her closest confidant, voice trembling yet resolute. "I need to see him," she said. "I need to know the truth." Inside, Keon felt a prickle at the back of his neck, that familiar sensation of being watched. He looked up from his drink and caught a flicker of movement in the reflection of the bar mirror. A tall figure, camera in hand, poised to capture every incriminating detail. Panic flared, but he masked it with a casual smile, pretending to be engrossed in conversation, pretending nothing was wrong. The auburn-haired woman leaned closer again. "You always manage to make this dangerous game look effortless," she teased, her eyes glinting in the low light. "But the closer you get to her, the closer the walls fall in." Keon nodded, a shiver running down his spine. He knew she was right. The walls were closing in. Every text, every secret meeting, every whispered lie had led to this night, and nothing could erase it now. As the lounge began to clear, he decided to leave. Stepping out into the cool night air, he felt exposed, vulnerable, and yet oddly exhilarated. He had pulled it off again, at least for now. But little did he know, Rashida was already on her way, fueled by a mixture of anger, confusion, and heartbreak, ready to confront him. The city lights glinted off his car as he drove, thoughts racing. The night had started with careful planning and ended with uncertainty, a dangerous combination that promised more drama than anyone could imagine. Emotions ran high, and somewhere deep inside, Keon realized that tonight was far from over. The fans were shocked. The social media storm was only beginning, and the family was left divided before any words were even spoken. And as Rashida's car neared the lounge, her mind was a hurricane of scenarios, confrontations, confessions, denials, or explosions. She parked a block away, taking a deep breath, steeling herself. Tonight, everything would come to light. Tonight, the secrets that had been whispered in the shadows would clash with reality. And for Keon Frost, or rather, Keon in this story, the consequences of one night could ripple far beyond what he ever imagined. The tension was unbearable, the stage set perfectly for a confrontation that would leave fans talking for weeks. Every heartbeat, every glance, every decision was about to collide in a way that only reality TV drama could deliver. And as Rashida stepped out of her car, determination etched across her face. The world held its breath. This was only the beginning. Rashida's heels clicked against the sidewalk as she approached the lounge, each step echoing louder than the last in the quiet night. Inside, Keon was oblivious to the storm heading his way. The auburn-haired woman had already slipped out moments ago, leaving behind a faint perfume that lingered in the air, like a warning. Keon leaned against the hood of his car, scrolling through his phone, trying to calm the anxiety that had been creeping in since the first social media post appeared. Fans were dissecting every detail of the night, every laugh, every hand movement, every interaction. The storm wasn't just outside, it was inside his own mind. Then, the door to the lounge opened, and Rashida stepped in. She moved with purpose, her eyes scanning the room until they locked on him. The energy shifted immediately, patrons whispered, glasses clinked nervously, and even the bartender stopped mid-pour. The air was thick with anticipation, and for a moment, time seemed to freeze. "Keon," she said, voice calm but carrying an undercurrent of steel. He looked up, startled, his usual confident smile faltering. "Rashida, I save it." She cut him off, her tone sharp. "I've seen the photos, I've seen the texts, I know what's been going on." Emotions ran high in the room. Keon's heart raced, and he struggled to find words, but nothing came out. He could feel the judgment, the weight of every fan, friend, and family member who might see this confrontation. "So, what now?" he finally asked, voice strained, almost pleading. "What now?" Rashida echoed, stepping closer. "Now, we deal with the truth. Now, you tell me why I'm the last to know about your little adventures." He swallowed hard, thinking of excuses, of lies he could spin, but the words caught in his throat. The tension between them was palpable, a tangible force pressing down on everyone nearby. "Rashida, it's not what it looks like," he began, but she interrupted him with a sharp gesture. "Don't, just don't." She shook her head, eyes glistening with unshed tears. "I trusted you. I believed you. And this." She gestured to the phone in her hand, displaying the images and messages. "This is betrayal." Inside the lounge, whispers escalated into murmurs of shock. Fans watching through live streams were commenting furiously, some defending Keon, some condemning him. The energy online mirrored the charged atmosphere in the room. I can explain," Keon stammered, the confident mask he wore so often slipping for the first time. "It wasn't supposed to happen like this." We were talking about business, really. It wasn't business." Rashida laughed bitterly, a sound that made the few remaining patrons fall silent. "Business doesn't involve secret dinners, hidden texts and burner phones. Business doesn't make you forget about the person you supposedly love. Business doesn't." She broke off, shaking her head, emotions spiraling. "You lied to me, Keon." Again, he ran a hand through his hair, frustration and panic mingling. "I didn't lie. I mean, I tried to protect you from drama. You don't understand." "Protect me." Rashida's voice rose, echoing off the walls. "Protect me. All this time. How am I supposed to feel safe, Keon? How am I supposed to trust anything you say ever again?" The auburn-haired woman's absence only fueled the tension. Somewhere in the back of Keon's mind, he knew this confrontation had the potential to spiral out of control. Yet he couldn't stop himself from blurting out half-truths, the kind that never truly satisfy anyone. "Look, Rashida, I made mistakes, okay? Yes, mistakes. But you don't have to make this a public spectacle." "Public spectacle," she screamed, cutting him off. "Do you know how many people are watching this right now? Fans are shocked, social media is on fire, and you want me to pretend like it's private?" Keon felt the room tilt around him, every heartbeat amplified. The walls seemed to close in, echoing her words, the weight of the moment pressing down with an almost unbearable force. He opened his mouth to defend himself again, but Rashida wasn't done. "I can't do this anymore, Keon," she said quietly now, her voice trembling but resolute. "I can't keep forgiving you. I can't keep pretending that everything is okay when it's not. The family is divided, friends are choosing sides, fans are losing respect, and I just can't." The room was silent, the drama palpable. Even the bartender and a few late-night patrons were frozen, watching the emotional showdown unfold. Emotions ran high, the tension almost electric, as Keon tried to comprehend the weight of what she was saying. "Rashida, please. Listen," he pleaded. "We can fix this. We've been through worse. We can fix it. Fix it." She repeated, incredulous. "How do we fix secret meetings, hidden texts, and your constant betrayals? How do we fix the public humiliation, Keon? How do we fix a relationship that feels like it's crumbling in real time?" He opened his mouth, then closed it, realizing she had a point. The room seemed to hold its breath. The fans online were typing furiously, debating, screaming, crying, judging. It was chaos. The social media storm mirrored the storm in the room. Each word, each glance magnified, every emotion felt tenfold. Then, the unexpected happened. A familiar face from Keon's inner circle appeared in the doorway, someone he hadn't counted on being here tonight. The tension escalated instantly, the family drama deepening. "Keon, we need to talk," the visitor said, voice low but firm, eyes darting between Keon and Rashida. "Not now," Keon muttered, but the visitor shook their head. "Yes, now. This can't wait. Too many people know already. Too much has leaked. We need to deal with it before it explodes even further." Rashida's eyes narrowed. "So it's true then. You've been hiding things not just from me, but from everyone around you." Keon's throat tightened. The visitor nodded subtly, confirming her suspicions. The web of deceit was wider than either of them had imagined, stretching beyond their private world into the scrutiny of everyone who followed their lives. "This isn't just about us," the visitor continued. "It's about appearances, about reputation, about making sure the family doesn't fall apart completely. And right now, Keon, you've put all of that at risk." Rashida's emotions boiled over. "I trusted you to keep our family together. I trusted you to respect me. And you've done the exact opposite. The family is already divided. Friends don't know who to side with. Fans are shocked. And now," she paused, tears slipping down her cheeks. "Now even our closest allies are questioning everything." Keon's voice cracked. I never meant for any of this to happen. I swear, meant for it to happen," she repeated incredulously. "Keon, your intentions don't matter anymore. Actions speak louder than words. And your actions have left a trail of chaos, betrayal, and heartbreak." For a moment, silence reigned. The lounge felt like it had shrunk, every heartbeat loud, every breath charged with tension. Keon realized that no amount of charm, no explanation, no manipulation could undo what had been done. The consequences of his choices were unfolding in real time, and the fallout was about to get even worse. Outside, the city lights flickered, indifferent to the personal hurricane inside the lounge. Fans continued live streaming, unaware of how close the confrontation was to reaching a breaking point. Comments poured in, some sympathetic, some accusatory, each one amplifying the pressure. Rashida finally took a step back, her body trembling, emotions raw but controlled. "I need time," she said, voice low but firm. "I need to think. I need to figure out if there's any way to salvage this, or if it's over for good." Keon reached out, but she didn't move closer. The physical distance mirrored the emotional chasm that had opened between them. He realized, with a sinking feeling, that tonight was a turning point, a night that fans would dissect, a night that could redefine everything, a night that would leave everyone involved questioning loyalty, trust, and the fragile bonds of family and love. The auburn-haired woman was gone. The visitor had departed after giving their warning, and the lounge was now almost empty. Yet the tension lingered, thick and suffocating, as Keon and Rashida faced the reality they had tried to avoid. The drama was far from over. In fact, it had only just begun. Keon stared at her, a mix of desperation and regret written across his face, while Rashida turned toward the exit, determination in her stride. Fans watching online were shouting, crying, debating, their emotions mirroring the chaos inside. The family was divided, the storm had broken, and the night promised even more twists, revelations, and confrontations. This was the moment where loyalties would be tested, secrets would be revealed, and reality TV drama reached its boiling point. Every glance, every word, every gesture carried the weight of consequences too heavy to ignore, and the world was watching. Rashida's heels faded down the street, each step a drumbeat in Keon's mind that refused to quiet. He stood frozen outside the lounge, the cool night air doing nothing to calm the storm inside him. His phone buzzed endlessly, notifications, messages, social media alerts, all proof that the world was watching his unraveling. Fans were shocked, insiders were whispering, and the family was left divided. Every ounce of composure he had clung to was slipping through his fingers. He got back into his car, fingers gripping the steering wheel as he tried to organize his thoughts. The auburn-haired woman had vanished, leaving only questions and guilt in her wake. He replayed the confrontation with Rashida over and over in his head, each word a dagger twisting tighter. "I trusted you." Actions speak louder than words. Those words haunted him, echoing louder than any music, louder than any cheering fan or flashing camera. The streets of Atlanta were eerily quiet, a stark contrast to the chaos erupting online. Every red light, every turn, reminded him of choices made and mistakes buried, but not forgotten. He called a close friend, someone who had seen him through public scandals and private betrayals alike. "Man, you screwed up," the friend said bluntly, tone sharp but worried. The The texts. The fans are losing it. And Rashida, she's gone off. She's not talking, she's thinking. And trust me, she's plotting her next move. Keon exhaled, the weight of reality pressing down. I didn't think it would get this big, he admitted, voice tight. I thought I could handle it before she found out, before anyone knew. Handle it, the friend laughed bitterly. You don't handle it, you survive it. Barely, and right now, you're in survival mode. Meanwhile, Rashida had returned to her apartment, phone in hand, pacing the living room as her mind spun through scenarios. Friends called, fans commented, messages piled up, but she ignored them all, focusing only on the man who had betrayed her. Every plan Keon had concocted, every lie he had woven, every secret he had kept, now sat in her mind like a stack of explosive devices ready to detonate. She flopped onto the sofa, wrapping herself in a blanket, but the warmth did nothing to calm her racing thoughts. She imagined the confrontation again, replayed every gesture, every glance, every half-truth he had uttered. Emotions ran high, and tears slipped down her cheeks. She hadn't just been shocked. She had been blindsided, betrayed in the most public, humiliating way possible. The next morning brought no relief. News outlets and social media accounts were buzzing, dissecting the night like a surgical procedure. Keon Frost caught in secret meetup. One headline screamed, Rashida confronts husband after shocking discovery. Another claimed. Fans were commenting furiously, some supportive of Rashida, some critical of Keon, and others predicting the ultimate breakdown of their family drama. Keon tried to call Rashida, each attempt rejected, each ring unanswered. He left voicemails filled with apologies, explanations, and promises, but nothing seemed to penetrate the emotional wall she had erected. The family was divided, his friends were wary, and the public had formed opinions that he couldn't control. The situation was spinning, each second accelerating the chaos. Later that afternoon, a trusted family member called Keon with a warning. Look, they said, voice low and serious. Rashida's not just upset, she's strategizing. You need to think carefully about your next move. Every word, every action is being watched. Don't make it worse. Keon ran his hands through his hair, panic rising. What can I do? He asked, voice tight. She's furious, everyone's watching, and I feel like I'm already too deep. Be honest, the family member advised. For once, stop hiding. She knows something is off. She's smart, and the fans are smarter than you think. Don't try to manipulate it, face it. The day dragged on with tension thick in the air. Rashida ignored calls and messages, but rumors traveled fast. Friends texted with updates, fans commented online, and paparazzi were already staking out spots near their homes. Every move, every glance, every whispered conversation carried weight. Emotions ran high, and Keon felt the pressure of impending fallout. By evening, Rashida agreed to meet a close friend for advice. Over coffee, she poured out everything, the betrayal, the humiliation, the frustration, and the heartbreak. He thinks he can charm his way out, she said, voice quivering. He thinks this is just another scandal to manage. But I'm not letting it slide. Not this time. The friend nodded, concerned. You need to protect yourself, Rashida. Don't let the chaos control you. Decide what's worth fighting for and what's worth letting go. Emotions are running high, but you have to think strategically. Rashida's mind raced. Could she forgive? Could she rebuild trust? Or was this the beginning of the end? The questions were relentless, each more painful than the last. She felt trapped between love and betrayal, between public scrutiny and private heartbreak. Meanwhile, Keon's phone buzzed again, a new set of texts from an anonymous source claiming insider information. The messages contained hints, innuendos, and potential leaks, threatening to expose even more secrets if he didn't act carefully. The panic surged. His private world was collapsing into public spectacle faster than he could manage. That night, Keon paced his home, imagining every possible confrontation with Rashida. He rehearsed apologies, explanations, confessions, yet every scenario ended with her leaving, furious, or worse, the public turning against him completely. The pressure was unbearable. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and the family was caught in the middle of what now looked like a storm that couldn't be contained. Rashida, on the other hand, spent the night writing notes, planning her next steps. She wanted clarity, she wanted accountability, and above all, she wanted respect. The drama that had started as whispers now roared as a tidal wave, threatening to drown every relationship, every alliance, every carefully curated public image. The next morning brought an unexpected twist. A video leaked online showing Keon in what appeared to be a suspicious meeting. Taken out of context but framed in the most incriminating way possible. The fans went wild. Hashtags trended, opinions flooded, and every move Kian made was now scrutinized to the extreme. Rashida watched the chaos unfold, emotions running high, her heart pounding as she considered whether to confront him again or to take a step back and reassess the damage. Inside Kian's home, he tried to make sense of it all. He felt cornered, desperate, and exposed. Every decision now mattered. Every word could either save him or destroy him further. The social media frenzy mirrored the emotional hurricane inside. A perfect storm of betrayal, tension, and drama that threatened to consume everything. By mid-afternoon, Rashida decided she couldn't wait any longer. She called Kian, and this time, he answered immediately, sensing the gravity in her tone. "Rashida, we need to talk," he said, voice urgent. "Yes, we do," she replied, emotion barely contained. "But this time, there are no excuses, no lies, no hiding. You need to be honest, completely." Kian swallowed hard, realizing that the night, the rumors, the social media storm, and the family's division had all led to this moment, a confrontation that could redefine everything. Emotions ran high, tensions peaked, and the drama that had begun as whispers was now about to explode, in full view of everyone involved. As they prepared for the conversation, both knew that nothing would ever be the same. Fans were shocked, the family was divided, and every choice from this point forward carried consequences too heavy to ignore. The storm had reached its peak, and only time would tell if it would destroy or rebuild what remained. Kian sat on the edge of his couch, phone pressed to his ear, his chest tight with anxiety. "I'm ready," he said, voice low, almost trembling. "I'll be honest, everything." Rashida's voice came through, steady but sharp. "Good, because I'm done with the secrets, done with the hiding. This is it, no more games." He nodded, even though she couldn't see him. The gravity of the conversation ahead weighed heavily. The tension was suffocating. Emotions ran high, every breath loaded with anticipation. And the city outside seemed to pause, as if holding its breath for what was about to unfold. They agreed to meet at a neutral location, a quiet rooftop overlooking the Atlanta skyline. When Rashida arrived, the night air was cool against her skin, her expression unreadable. Kian was already there, pacing, staring out at the city lights as if trying to find an answer in the chaos below. The fans online had been live streaming everything for hours, but neither of them cared. The moment was theirs, raw, unfiltered, and unavoidable. "Kian," Rashida said finally, breaking the silence, "I want the truth. Everything, no dodging, no excuses." He took a deep breath, shoulders slumping. "Okay, I'll start from the beginning. I never wanted to hurt you. I never wanted to betray you. But I made mistakes, decisions I thought were harmless at the time, but now, I see how much damage they caused." Rashida's eyes narrowed, emotions running high. "Decisions, that's all you have to say? Mistakes?" She shook her head, voice trembling. "You've been lying, hiding, sneaking around, and you expect me to call them mistakes? The family is divided, friends are choosing sides, and the fans, they're shocked." "I know," he admitted, voice cracking, "and I regret it. Every moment, every secret. I wish I could take it all back, but I can't. All I can do is try to make it right now." "Make it right," she repeated, incredulous. "Kian, how do you make right what you've done in secret for weeks, hiding behind texts, burner phones, and lies?" He swallowed hard, feeling the weight of every word, every action. "I don't know if I can undo it," he confessed, "but I can be honest. From now on, I can rebuild trust if you'll let me. If we can survive this, together." She stared at him, the city lights reflecting in her eyes, a mix of hurt and anger. "And the photos, the videos, the messages, the evidence that's out there. How do you explain that?" Kian ran a hand through his hair, frustration and panic mingling. "They don't tell the full story. I didn't. I mean, it wasn't like it looked. I was trying to handle something sensitive, and it got out of hand." Rashida shook her head. "Sensitive or not, it's public now. Actions speak louder than words. People are watching, judging, and my trust in you, it's shattered." The tension was thick, suffocating, each word a spark threatening to ignite the emotional tinder that had been building for weeks. Emotions ran high, the night air electric with conflict, regret, and heartbreak. "I understand," Kian said quietly, voice breaking. "I'm sorry. I know sorry isn't enough, but it's all I have right now." Rashida took a step back, breathing heavily. "Sorry isn't enough anymore. It hasn't been enough. I need to see real change, real honesty, or this ends." He nodded, swallowing the lump in his throat. "I'll do whatever it takes. I'll prove it to you, to everyone, that I can change. That I can fix this. The conversation stretched on for hours, the skyline witnessing a clash of emotions, revelations, and confessions. They revisited texts, dissected interactions, and examined every choice made. Keon revealed hidden conversations, apologized repeatedly, and tried to convey the depth of his regret. Rashida listened, torn between anger, love, and the desire to protect herself. Suddenly, the phone buzzed. It was an anonymous tip, someone claiming more information about Keon's secret dealings. The timing couldn't have been worse. Rashida's eyes widened. "What now?" she asked, panic edging her tone. Keon looked at the message, face pale. We deal with it, together. Whatever it is, we face it." The night took an unexpected turn. The anonymous tip contained screenshots, videos, and messages that suggested more complexity. More hidden layers to the story than either of them anticipated. The drama escalated instantly. The fans were already shocked, but now the stakes were higher, much higher. Rashida's phone rang again, this time from a family member warning her to stay calm. "Whatever happens, don't make decisions in anger. Think carefully. Emotions are high, and the public is watching every move." She nodded, though Keon couldn't see. The words lingered in her mind. Think carefully. Every choice now carried consequences far beyond their private conflict. The tension between them thickened. Keon's secrets were exposed, but not entirely understood. Rashida demanded clarity, accountability, and proof of sincerity. Every glance, every word, every gesture became a test of loyalty and love. Emotions ran high, the air heavy with suspense, and the family's division loomed like a storm cloud over their heads. "I can't promise it'll be easy," Keon admitted. "I know I've hurt you in ways that can't be undone overnight. But I want to fight for us, for the family, for what we've built." Rashida's eyes softened slightly, though suspicion still lingered. "Actions speak louder than words. I need to see it, Keon, not just hear it." Their conversation continued late into the night, filled with dramatic pauses, moments of tenderness, and eruptions of anger. The weight of betrayal, regret, and hope intertwined, creating a roller coaster of emotion that only reality TV drama could capture. Fans online were live streaming snippets, speculating on the outcome, debating every reaction, and dissecting every word. As the night drew to a close, both realized that the confrontation had changed everything. The secrets, the lies, the betrayals, they couldn't simply be erased. Emotions ran high, the family was divided, and the public's fascination had reached a fever pitch. The storm had only intensified, setting the stage for even more explosive revelations in the coming days. Rashida stood to leave, her mind made up to protect herself first. "We'll see," she said softly, almost a whisper, yet charged with unspoken power. Actions, not words. Keon watched her leave, heart heavy, knowing that this was far from over. The family's division, the fans' shock, and the social media frenzy ensured that the drama would continue to unfold, unpredictable and intense. Emotions ran high, the stakes were higher, and the night promised more twists, betrayals, and confrontations yet to come. The world outside seemed to pulse with anticipation, the city lights reflecting the chaos inside. Keon and Rashida had survived one storm, but the next one was already gathering strength, and when it hit, nothing would ever be the same. The next morning arrived heavy with tension, the Atlanta skyline glowing under a hesitant sunrise that seemed almost to pause, as if bracing itself for the chaos unfolding below. Keon woke with a pounding headache, the weight of the previous night's confrontation pressing down like a physical force. Every thought raced through his mind, Rashida's anger, the anonymous tips, the leaked screenshots, and the ever-watchful eye of fans and social media. He had survived public drama before, but nothing had ever felt this personal, this raw. Rashida, meanwhile, had spent the night in restless reflection, pacing her apartment, phone in hand. The messages, the videos, the public scrutiny, it was overwhelming. Her heart still ached, but a fire of determination had ignited. She couldn't allow herself to be blindsided again. The family was already divided, her friends were on edge, and the fans were watching, expecting her reaction, judging her decisions. Emotions ran high as she considered her next move. Keon called again, but this time Rashida didn't answer. He left a voicemail, voice heavy with urgency. "Rashida, I know I can't undo last night, but we have to talk. Please, I need a chance to show you I can change." She ignored it, knowing that listening now could cloud her judgment. Instead, she called a trusted friend, detailing every emotional beat, every confession, every denial from the previous night. He thinks charm and excuses can fix everything, she said, voice trembling but firm. But I'm not falling for it again. The family is divided, the public is watching, and I need to protect myself first. The friend nodded, concern etched across her face. You're right, you have to be strategic. Think of the long game. This isn't just about feelings anymore, it's about survival, reputation, and control. While Rashida strategized, Keon found himself entangled in another layer of drama. Fans online were dissecting every move, reposting clips, speculating wildly, and sending anonymous messages claiming insider knowledge. The pressure mounted. The auburn-haired woman, whose role in the scandal had been central, began appearing in social media threads again, her identity scrutinized and debated endlessly. Keon realized that even if he wanted to hide, there was no longer any sanctuary. Emotions ran high, the storm was escalating, and every choice felt like a gamble with stakes far beyond him. By midday, Rashida agreed to meet a family member for counsel. The conversation was tense. Rashida, you have to think carefully about your next move, they warned. Keon's mistakes are public, the fans are shocked, and the family is divided. Any rash action could fuel more chaos. She nodded, determination flashing in her eyes. I understand, but I can't just stand by. I need clarity, answers, and accountability. He has to see the consequences of his choices. Meanwhile, Keon attempted damage control, reaching out to friends and insiders who could help him navigate the escalating public scrutiny. We need to contain this, he said urgently. The leaks, the videos, everything. If it spirals, it could destroy everything, the family, the business, my reputation. His friend responded grimly, it's already spiraled, Keon, you're past containment. Now it's about damage control and trying to survive the storm with whatever credibility remains. As the day progressed, the tension reached new heights. Rashida prepared for a second confrontation, this time with a plan. She wanted answers, she wanted accountability, and she wanted the truth laid bare. Emotions ran high. The city seemed to vibrate with anticipation, and fans online speculated endlessly about what would happen when these two collided again. Keon, meanwhile, steeled himself for the meeting. He knew that last night had shifted everything. The family was divided. The fans were shocked, and Rashida's trust was shattered. He rehearsed his words, his apologies, his explanations, but deep down he knew that no rehearsal could capture the raw intensity of what was about to happen. The meeting took place in a neutral location, a quiet rooftop once again. Under the muted glow of streetlights and city ambience, Rashida arrived first, eyes narrowed, emotions barely restrained. Keon followed, cautious, measured, every step weighted with tension. Keon, she began, her voice sharp, this isn't just about last night anymore. It's about every secret, every lie, every hidden meeting. The fans are shocked, the family is divided, and I'm left questioning everything. I know, he replied, voice strained, and I can't undo it, but I want to make it right. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, she repeated, incredulous. Do you know what that even means? You've dragged everyone into this family, friends, fans. People are talking, speculating, and I feel like I'm the only one who truly sees the chaos you've caused. Keon swallowed hard. I see it too, Rashida. I see the damage, the betrayal, the heartbreak. I know it's my fault. I've made mistakes, and I'm ready to face the consequences. The wind picked up, rustling the papers Rashida had brought with her, screenshots, messages, and evidence of secret interactions. The storm of drama felt almost tangible, a living, breathing entity hovering over them. Emotions ran high, the tension crackling in the air like electricity. Look at this, Rashida said, pointing to the evidence. These aren't just mistakes. These are choices that affect everyone around you. The family, friends, the fans. And you acted like they didn't matter. He nodded, guilt etched across his face. I know, I can't change the past, but I want to change the future. I want to rebuild trust. If you'll let me. She shook her head, tears threatening to spill. Trust isn't given, Keon, it's earned, and right now, you have a long road ahead. The conversation stretched late into the night, alternating between anger, sorrow, and moments of fragile hope. Keon revealed more hidden truths, apologized for past deceptions, and tried desperately to show Rashida that his intentions, while flawed, were genuine. Emotions ran high, the city seemed to hold its breath, and the drama escalated with each passing minute. Fans online dissected every word, every gesture, every pause, flooding social media with opinions, predictions, and theories. The family was divided, friends were conflicted, and the tension was palpable. Keon and Rashida were caught in the eye of a storm that no one could escape. As dawn approached, both realized that the confrontation, while necessary, had only scratched the surface. Secrets still lingered, questions remained unanswered, and the storm of public scrutiny promised to continue. The drama was far from over, and the stakes were higher than ever. Emotions ran high, the fans were shocked, and the family remained divided, each moment charged with suspense and potential disaster. Rashida finally stood, her voice steady but laced with authority. "We'll see, Keon. Your actions from here on out will decide everything. Words aren't enough anymore." Keon nodded, swallowing the lump in his throat. He understood the gravity of her words. The road ahead was uncertain, dangerous, and fraught with emotional landmines. But he knew that if he wanted redemption, he had no choice but to face it head-on. The city seemed to exhale, a quiet lull before the next wave of drama hit. The night's revelations, confrontations, and confessions had shifted everything. But even as the sun rose, the tension, the suspense, and the emotional stakes promised that the storm was far from over. The fans were shocked, emotions ran high, and the family remained divided. But one thing was certain: the drama would continue, more intense and unpredictable than ever before. The morning after the rooftop confrontation, Keon woke to a city buzzing with speculation. Every notification on his phone felt like a drumbeat of judgment. Fans were shocked, friends were divided, and family members were quietly taking sides. He rubbed his eyes, the weight of the previous night pressing down like a physical force. Emotions ran high, and the storm that had started weeks ago was far from over. Rashida, meanwhile, had spent the night planning her next steps. She pored over every message, every social media post, every whispered tip from insiders. Her heart still ached, but her determination was stronger than ever. She couldn't allow herself to be blindsided again. The family was fractured, the fans were invested, and the world was watching. Every decision she made now carried weight far beyond her private emotions. By midday, Keon attempted to make amends in small ways. He reached out to friends and family, trying to gauge loyalties and calm the tension. "I know I can't undo the past," he admitted to a trusted ally, "but I have to try to fix what's left." "You have a long road ahead," the ally warned. "The fans are shocked. The family is divided, and Rashida isn't easily convinced. Every word, every gesture matters. One wrong move and it all falls apart." Keon nodded grimly, fully aware of the precarious position he was in. His confidence had been stripped away, replaced by a deep anxiety and awareness that the public eye would not forgive. Emotions ran high, the stakes were enormous, and the drama was far from over. Rashida had scheduled a private meeting with her closest confidants. Together, they reviewed every detail, dissected every potential outcome, and crafted a plan, but the energy between them crackled with unresolved tension. "Keon," Rashida said, her voice low but firm, "for real accountability." He nodded, swallowing the lump in his throat. "I understand," he said quietly. "I'll do whatever it takes. No more secrets, no more lies. I want to rebuild trust, if you'll let me." Rashida's eyes searched his face, looking for sincerity, searching for a glimmer of truth among the chaos. "Words aren't enough anymore," she said. "I need to see action. I need to feel it. The family is watching. Fans are shocked, and everything we've built is on the line." The conversation stretched for hours. Keon revealed deeper truths, confessed mistakes, and attempted to make amends. Rashida listened intently, her emotions oscillating between anger, sorrow, and moments of fragile hope. Emotions ran high, the tension thickened, and the city seemed to pulse in sync with the drama unfolding between them. An unexpected twist arrived, mid-conversation. An anonymous insider leaked a video suggesting yet another secret meeting. The timing couldn't have been worse. Rashida's eyes widened. "What now?" she asked, panic creeping into her tone. Keon's face paled. Escalated instantly. Fans online erupted. Speculation intensified, and every word, glance, and gesture between Keon and Rashida was analyzed, debated, and dissected endlessly. The storm was no longer private. It had exploded into public spectacle, with emotions running high on every front. Rashida's phone rang. A family member's voice came through. Calm, but urgent. "Stay composed. Think before reacting. The fans are watching. The family is divided. And the stakes couldn't be higher. Every choice now has consequences." She exhaled, nodding to herself, determination hardening. "I understand. We move carefully, strategically, but actions will speak louder than words." Keon tried to propose a plan to rebuild trust. Let's set boundaries. Transparency, no more secrets. I'll prove myself over time. Rashida considered him carefully. Time is relative. Trust is fragile. Every step you take will be scrutinized. The family is divided, fans are shocked, and the world is watching. Don't underestimate the pressure. The night deepened, and the tension reached a boiling point. Every word, every glance, every pause carried weight. Keon realized that the mistakes of the past had created ripples far beyond his control. Rashida's determination to protect herself, the family, and their reputation meant that the road to redemption would be steep and unforgiving. Outside, the city lights flickered, indifferent to the personal hurricane inside. Fans online live-streamed snippets, created reaction videos, and debated endlessly. The drama had transcended personal conflict. It had become a spectacle of public intrigue. Emotions ran high. The stakes were monumental, and every participant felt the pressure. Finally, as dawn approached, both Keon and Rashida realized the confrontation had reached a critical juncture. The secrets had been revealed, the emotions laid bare, and the public scrutiny relentless. The family remained divided, the fans shocked, and the social media storm showed no signs of relenting. Rashida stood, her expression resolute. Keon, your actions from this point forward will define everything. I can't guarantee forgiveness, trust, or even a future together. Words are meaningless. Only actions matter. Keon nodded, swallowing the lump in his throat. I understand. I'll do whatever it takes. I'll prove it, step by step, action by action. The city seemed to exhale along with them, a quiet pause before the inevitable fallout. The storm of betrayal, drama, and suspense had reached its peak. Yet, even as the first light of morning touched the skyline, it was clear that the consequences, the emotions, and the public scrutiny would continue to unfold. Fans were shocked, emotions ran high, the family remained divided, and the story, now a full-blown reality TV spectacle, promised more twists, confrontations, and revelations in the days to come. The drama had reached its climax, but the ripples of betrayal and suspense ensured that nothing would ever be the same. And with that, the main body of the story, filled with heartbreak, confrontation, scandal, and suspense, came to a temporary pause, leaving the stage perfectly set for the final conclusion and call to action, where fans would be invited to weigh in, debate, and speculate on what happens next. It was one of those Atlanta nights when the air felt heavy, like it was holding a secret. The city lights bounced off black cars, sliding through the streets. And somewhere between the music, the traffic, and the whispers, Kirk Frost was spotted. No cameras, no crew, no Rashida, just Kirk, stepping out like he didn't want to be seen. People always say the truth hides in plain sight, and that night, Atlanta saw more than it was supposed to. A few blocks from the Frost Bistro, there's a small lounge, one of those tucked-away places where celebrities go when they don't want to be found. The lights are dim, the waiters don't talk, and phones are supposed to stay in pockets. But not everyone follows the rules. Around 10:43 p.m., someone saw Kirk walk in, looking around like he was checking for familiar faces. Baseball cap pulled low, designer jacket zipped up. He greeted the host quick, kept his head down, and walked straight toward the back. 15 minutes later, a woman walked in. She wasn't famous, but she had that "I know somebody" energy. Long hair, heels clicking like she owned the floor. She didn't ask for a table. She walked straight to the same corner booth where Kirk was sitting. From the outside, it looked like a regular meetup, two adults having a drink. But anyone who knows Kirk's history knows how fast just talking can turn into a headline. Now here's where things get interesting. Someone in that lounge, maybe a fan, maybe an employee, noticed the vibe and decided to hit record. The video starts shaky, like they were pretending to text. Kirk's leaning forward, elbows on the table, talking low. The woman's laughing, touching her hair, leaning closer. No sound, just body language. But body language doesn't lie. And when that video hit social media, the internet lost its mind. By morning, the clip had been posted on 3 different gossip pages. Captions like "Kirk Frost caught out again," and "Not the Frosts in trouble again." People started debating immediately. Some said it looked like business, others said, if that's business, then every meeting at that lounge is suspicious. Fans zoomed in, slowed it down, compared her hairstyle to random Atlanta influencers, and just like that, the hunt began. Meanwhile, Rashida was quiet. No response, no comment. She posted her usual motivational quotes, a few snaps from the boutique, but no mention of Kirk. And that silence, it was loud. Because every time Rashida goes silent, something's going on behind the scenes. People started speculating. Was this just another misunderstanding? Or was Kirk slipping back into old habits? And y'all remember, this ain't the first time Kirk's been caught in drama like this. It's like dossier vu with a twist. Back in the day, when the whole Jasmine Washington situation exploded, everyone swore Kirk had learned his lesson. We saw tears, apologies, therapy sessions, and that whole I'm a changed man arc. Rashida forgave him, fans slowly came around, and they rebuilt their image. But now, with this new video floating around, people are starting to question if anything really changed. The craziest part, insiders say Kirk's been moving funny for weeks. Apparently, he's been taking late meetings, disappearing for hours, claiming he's working on new business deals. But the timelines don't add up. One source close to the family said, Rashida always knows his schedule, always. Lately, she's been asking questions he doesn't answer. That right there tells you something's off. As the clip gained traction, bloggers started doing what they do best, digging. They found out the lounge where Kirk was seen is owned by a friend of one of his old business partners. That same partner, the one who was around during the Jasmine drama. It's like history trying to repeat itself. Fans started posting throwback clips from Love and Hip Hop, side by side with this new footage, calling it Kirk Frost Season 2. By day 2, it wasn't just gossip pages talking. Mainstream blogs picked it up. Headlines everywhere. Rashida's husband spotted with mystery woman. Atlanta sources claim Frost marriage in trouble again. And every time a new post dropped, the comment section went wild. Some fans defended him, saying people should mind their business, but most were tired. Tired of the same story, the same mistakes, the same excuses. And here's what really set people off. Someone claimed to have seen Kirk and that same woman again, 2 days later, this time outside a hotel in Midtown. No video this time, just photos, grainy, distant, but enough to spark chaos. One pic showed them walking side by side. Another showed her getting into a car while Kirk stood nearby, looking around. It was giving not so secret anymore. Back at Frost Bistro, staff were reportedly told not to discuss anything related to Kirk or Rashida. That's when you know things are serious. Rashida, meanwhile, posted another quote, "You can't heal in the same environment that broke you." Fans flooded her comments with support, telling her to leave, to focus on herself, to remember her worth. Some even said she deserves her own show, away from all the drama. The tension built slowly, like a movie where you already know the ending but still hope for a twist. Kirk stayed silent publicly, but he was seen liking random posts about loyalty and growth, which honestly just made things worse. People screenshotted everything, made threads, connected dots that maybe didn't need connecting, but in the world of social media, perception is reality. One Atlanta radio host even chimed in, saying she'd seen Kirk around town looking too comfortable for a married man. And when the radio gets involved, the story's gone too far to hide. The question wasn't just was Kirk cheating again? It became, why does this keep happening? Why do some men play with the peace they begged for? Through all this, Rashida kept posting like nothing happened, promoting her products, smiling in videos, but her eyes told a story. There was a clip where she laughed mid-sentence, then paused just for a second before forcing the smile back. Fans noticed. They always do. The internet started turning it into a soap opera. Every day, a new theory. Maybe Kirk was meeting with an investor. Maybe it was staged for publicity. Maybe Rashida already knew. But if it was all innocent, why delete stories? Why go ghost on socials? Why act like nothing happened while the world's talking about you? That's when another layer appeared. A user claiming to work at the lounge dropped a comment saying they were definitely flirting. That wasn't business. The comment blew up, got deleted, then reposted everywhere. People started asking for security footage, tagging the lounge, trying to pressure them to release more proof. The lounge's page went private within hours. That silence spoke volumes. Behind the scenes, though insiders say Rashida's circle has been tight, she's not letting everyone in, not even close friends. One of her stylists allegedly said she's been quiet but focused, still showing up. Still handling business, but different, like she's processing something. And honestly, who wouldn't be? Imagine dealing with public embarrassment twice. The first time, you forgive, rebuild, and tell the world you're good, only for rumors to circle back years later. The strength it takes to stay composed under that kind of pressure is unreal. But that's Rashida.com on the outside, Storm on the inside. Meanwhile, Kirk's been spotted at events alone. No Rashida, no matching outfits, no couple selfies. It's like he's intentionally keeping a low profile. One blogger said, He's moving like a man who knows the cameras are watching, and they are. Always. Then came the twist nobody expected. An anonymous DM sent to a gossip page claimed the woman in the video works in marketing, someone Kirk's been collaborating with for months on a new project. The DM said it's business, but too friendly business. Fans didn't buy it. They said if it's really business, why so secretive? Why meet up at night in a quiet lounge instead of an office or coffee shop? The theories kept stacking. Every little move became evidence. Kirk's old interviews were dug up, his old apologies replayed. One fan even edited a compilation titled Kirk Frost, Lessons Not Learned. It went viral. People joked, but deep down, everyone knew it wasn't just about gossip, it was about seeing a pattern repeat itself. And while everyone else was talking, Rashida made one move that spoke louder than any post. She unfollowed Kirk for a few hours. Fans caught it, screenshotted it, and the internet exploded. Then, like nothing happened, she followed him back. Some said it was accidental, others said it was emotional. Either way, it told a story without words. By the end of that week, the Frost household was trending again. Fans begged them to go live, to clear the air, to explain, but neither of them said a word. Silence, again. And sometimes silence is the loudest answer. In Atlanta, people started whispering that the Frost marriage might be at another breaking point. The same friends who used to double date with them now say they've barely seen the couple together. And even though Kirk's trying to play it cool, people close to him say he's stressed, checking his phone constantly, pacing around, talking about how people always twist things. But maybe, just maybe, the truth doesn't need twisting. The city knows, the fans know, and deep down, Rashida probably knows too, that one late-night meetup might have changed everything again. The days that followed felt like a quiet storm around Atlanta. Nobody saw Kirk and Rashida together, not at the restaurant, not at events, not even walking out of their usual spots. For years, the Frost name meant drama, redemption, and then peace. But now, the peace felt fragile. Everyone could sense something was off. It wasn't loud, it wasn't public, but it was there. That tension you can't see but you can feel. Rashida started showing up solo to her boutique. Normally, Kirk would be there helping, smiling for pictures, doing his husband-manager thing. But now, it was just her and the staff. And the way she carried herself calm, composed, but cold told you she wasn't trying to pretend. The cameras weren't rolling, but it felt like love and hip-hop in real life. One Friday afternoon, she went live for a quick promo, and fans flooded the comments with questions. "Girl, what's going on? Where's Kirk? Are you okay, Queen?" She didn't respond to a single one. She smiled, talked about her new arrivals, and ended the live with a soft love y'all, but her tone was flat. The internet noticed. They always notice. Behind the scenes, people close to the couple said Kirk had been trying to explain himself. One insider said he told Rashida it was strictly business and that the woman he met was helping him secure a venue deal. But Rashida, after years of excuses, didn't look convinced. She asked for receipts, emails, text proof. Kirk said he'd show her everything, but somehow, nothing was adding up. Meanwhile, the mystery woman was getting attention she probably didn't ask for. Social media detectives found her page, her job, her old photos, everything. People started tagging her under gossip posts, calling her names, dragging her. Within hours, her Instagram went private, but the damage was already done. One comment said, she knew exactly who he was married to. Another said, if you mess with someone's husband, the internet will find you. And they did. Then something unexpected happened. One of Kirk's old friends spoke out in a podcast interview, saying, Kirk's not dumb enough to cheat again. I think he just makes bad choices in bad places. But that defense didn't help. It made it sound like even his friends knew his judgment couldn't be trusted. The following weekend, paparazzi caught Rashida at a brunch with her girls, looking She laughed, posed for pictures, even said good morning y'all to the cameras. Fans loved it. They called it her soft revenge era. But that same night, Kirk was seen again, this time at an event downtown, alone. He looked tense, barely smiling, keeping to himself. Maybe it was guilt, maybe it was frustration, maybe both. Rumors started spreading that Rashida had moved out temporarily. Some said she was staying with family, others claimed she just needed space. Nothing was confirmed, but the whispers grew louder. And Kirk, he kept posting motivational quotes like real ones don't fold under pressure. Fans weren't buying it. They replied with comments like pressure you created, and loyalty is not that hard bro. As more people talked, the woman from the video broke her silence, but only slightly. She posted a story saying, people love drama, y'all don't even know the truth. No names, no direct mention, but everyone knew who she was talking about. That one sentence reignited the entire conversation. Gossip pages screenshotted it, reposted it, and added fuel to the fire. The next morning, she deleted it. But once something hits the internet, it's there forever. Rashida's boutique sales actually went up during all this. People wanted to support her. Fans were buying out her clothing line, posting selfies wearing her merch with captions like Team Rashida Forever. It turned into a movement, women hyping her up, reminding her she deserves peace. And through it all, she kept her head high. But privately, sources said she was hurt deeply. She'd built her whole brand around loyalty, growth, and forgiveness. And here she was again, facing the same pain she thought she'd outgrown. One close friend said, "She's tired. She loves him, but she's tired." And that's the kind of exhaustion no camera can capture. One night, Kirk went live for the first time since the scandal broke. It wasn't planned, it seemed like he just hit the button out of frustration. He said, "Man, y'all believe anything on the internet. I can't even have a meeting without people assuming the worst." His voice was calm but defensive. Comments poured in, some supportive, most skeptical. One viewer wrote, "Then why was it a secret meetup though?" Kirk ignored it. After 5 minutes, he ended the live. No explanation, no apology, just silence. The next morning, that live was everywhere. Bloggers clipped it, slowed it down, analyzed his tone. One said, "He sounds guilty, not innocent." Another said, "If he really didn't do anything, he'd show proof." And maybe that's the truth in today's world. Silence looks like confession. Rashida, on the other hand, posted a video cooking dinner with her mom. No caption, no music, just real life. People filled the comments with heart emojis, calling her strong. She didn't reply to any, but you could tell she appreciated the love. Every move she made felt intentional, calm, graceful, mature. Like she knew this moment wasn't going to break her. But behind that calm was a decision forming. Insiders said Rashida started setting boundaries. She told Kirk she needed space. No cameras, no fake smiles, just time. That's when Kirk reportedly started trying harder, sending flowers, gifts, messages. But sometimes, too little too late hits harder than any apology. The gossip pages didn't stop. One posted unseen footage of Kirk leaving the same lounge days later, alone this time, but it didn't matter. The damage was done. Every comment said the same thing: "We've seen this movie before." And that's what hurt the most. Not the cheating rumors, but the repetition of it all. By week 3, fans started speculating whether Rashida would address it on the next season of Love and Hip Hop. Producers love drama like this, but friends close to her said she might be done airing her pain for views. "She's built an empire," one said. "She doesn't need to cry on camera anymore." Still, the tension between them wasn't just emotional, it was business too. They share restaurants, brands, investments. Separating those worlds isn't easy. Every argument carries both love and money, and that makes it messy. One insider said, "It's not just about cheating anymore. It's about trust in every area." And even though Kirk tried to downplay everything, Atlanta wasn't buying it. People who'd seen him around said his vibe was different, quieter, more distant. One woman who saw him at a bar said he looked like a man who lost control of his narrative. Because when the world's watching, every move feels like evidence. Then, out of nowhere, Rashida posted an old throwback of her and Kirk smiling at their wedding anniversary. No caption, just a picture. Fans went wild. Some thought it meant forgiveness. Others thought it was closure. The photo hit 1 million likes in less than a day. Maybe it was her way of saying, "I remember everything, good and bad." Maybe it was her peace offering, or her goodbye. Nobody knew for sure. And that's when things took another turn. A message surfaced from someone claiming to be a friend of the mystery woman. They said the meeting wasn't romantic, but Kirk's energy was inappropriate. That one word, inappropriate, lit up the internet. Because even if nothing physical happened, disrespect is still disrespect. Fans rallied around Rashida again, saying, "Emotional cheating counts too." The Frost Bistro, once a symbol of their unity, suddenly felt like a reminder of what they'd built and what could fall apart. Regulars said the atmosphere changed. Fewer smiles, fewer couple photos, more whispers. The energy was off. And when energy shifts, everyone feels it. Around that same time, a clip surfaced of Rashida talking in an interview months before, saying, "I forgive, but I don't forget." Fans reposted it with captions like "Prophecy fulfilled." It was eerie how relevant it felt now. Everybody wanted closure, but the story kept unfolding slowly, painfully. Kirk stopped posting for a week. Rashida posted more than ever. She looked radiant, booked, focused, like a woman reclaiming her narrative. She wasn't begging for sympathy. She was showing resilience. Still, behind the glow, there's always the ache of betrayal, or at least, the fear of it. One friend said, "She's not crying, but she's not sleeping either." That line stuck with people. It showed the difference between public strength and private pain. And Atlanta, for all its glitz and gossip, loves a comeback. Fans started rooting for her more than ever. Not as Kirk's wife, but as Rashida, the boss. The woman who turned pain into power before, and might do it again. As for Kirk, he stayed quiet, maybe realizing that this time, no speech, no explanation, no quick fix would make it disappear. The story was no longer just about a video, it was about trust, patterns, and choices, and deep down, both of them knew. This moment would define what comes next, not just in their marriage, but in how the world sees them. The following month felt like a quiet reset for Atlanta's favorite on-again, off-again couple. Everything slowed down. Fewer appearances, fewer public smiles, and a lot more mystery. It was like the world was watching a paused scene, waiting to see who would move first. Would Kirk make another grand apology, or would Rashida finally close that chapter for good? Days turned into weeks, and in those weeks, silence said more than any statement could. Kirk wasn't showing up anywhere, not even for the bistro events he used to host proudly. His name had become a whisper again, one of those "did you hear about" moments that float around beauty salons and group chats. The video, the rumors, the tension, it had all settled into something heavier now. Doubt. Rashida, though, wasn't slowing down, she was glowing up. She started dropping new business promos, collabs, and interviews where she spoke about growth and self-worth without naming names. Fans knew exactly what she meant. One clip went viral. She said, "Sometimes peace comes from walking away from the chaos you created." The crowd clapped like it was a sermon, and social media turned that line into a whole trend. But behind that public strength, sources said she was torn. She loved Kirk, that kind of long, complicated love that's seen everything. He wasn't just her husband. He was her history. They built empires together, raised kids, shared dreams. But every time she looked at him, she probably saw both the good memories and the old wounds reopening. Forgiveness had always been her brand, but forgiveness gets heavy when it's repeated too often. One evening, Kirk finally showed up at the Frost Bistro. Not for the cameras, not for promotion, just there, sitting at the bar. People inside said he looked tired. Not the kind of tired sleep fixes, the kind that comes from too many lies, too many headlines, too much pretending. He ordered food, barely ate, scrolled through his phone, then left quietly. No one approached him. It was like everyone knew better now. That same night, Rashida posted a simple clip, her driving with music on blast. The caption read, "When you stop chasing explanations, peace finds you." Fans flooded the comments, hyping her up. One said, "She's speaking healing into existence." Another said, "This is the softest revenge, silence and success." But Kirk wasn't done trying. Apparently, he'd been reaching out privately, asking to talk. Texts, calls, even showing up at their home, trying to explain. But Rashida wasn't opening that door yet. Friends say she told him, "You've explained before, Kirk. I need action now, not words." And that right there, that was the new Rashida. Not broken, not bitter, just done with recycled promises. The gossip didn't stop though. Atlanta thrives on rumors like oxygen. Every small move got exaggerated. One blogger claimed Rashida was spotted having dinner with an old friend, and just like that, people flipped the script. They started asking if she was the one moving on now. The irony didn't escape anyone, but if she was, who could blame her? Through it all, Kirk kept trying to fix his image. He met with a few bloggers privately, trying to clear his name. One of them said he looked nervous, like he knew he couldn't control the story this time. He said, "Man, people don't see the whole picture. They just want drama." But that's the thing, if the picture looks the same every time, people stop believing there's a different story. A week later, Kirk posted something unexpected. A throwback video of him and Rashida on vacation. Laughing, happy, carefree, no caption, just memories. Fans flooded the comments again. Half were telling him to let her go, others saying fight for your wife. Rashida didn't respond. She didn't even like the post. And that silence hit harder than any argument could. Sources close to her said she'd started journaling again, something she used to do years ago when things first fell apart. Writing is how she processes pain. She'd pour it all out, the anger, the disappointment, the confusion. One entry allegedly said, "Love should not feel like surveillance." That line went around quietly among friends, but it summed everything up perfectly. Meanwhile, love and hip-hop producers were circling, smelling the drama. They wanted her storyline back on screen, but she wasn't biting. One source said she told them, "If it's not about business or growth, I'm not doing it." And that's how you know she's shifting, moving from survival mode to Kirk, though, couldn't escape the pattern. One weekend he was spotted again, this time at a day party, surrounded by people, smiling like nothing happened. Someone filmed it, of course. The clip hit social media with the caption "unbuck," and fans dragged him instantly. One said, "Bro, why are you celebrating when your marriage is in the ice?" Another said, "This man loves public places too much." It was funny, but sad at the same time, because it showed just how disconnected he'd become from the gravity of it all. Rashida stayed consistent. No clapbacks, no shade. Just focus. She started collaborating with other women entrepreneurs, posting empowerment content. One caption said, "Your peace is your power." And honestly, it felt like she meant every word. But no matter how calm she acted, you could feel the tension underneath, that quiet ache of loving someone who keeps disappointing you. And for Kirk, that realization was starting to sink in too. He reportedly told a friend, "She's slipping away, man. And it's my fault." Maybe for the first time, he really meant it. As more weeks passed, Atlanta started forgetting the way it always does when new gossip comes along. Another scandal, another headline, another distraction. But for Kirk and Rashida, the silence that followed wasn't peace, it was distance. They started communicating less, seeing each other only when necessary. Business meetings, family matters, nothing personal. One insider said it felt like a professional partnership, not a marriage. But sometimes distance reveals the truth, not the kind you talk about, the kind you feel when you realize something's changed forever. And that's exactly where they were, at that quiet breaking point that doesn't make noise but still hurts. Because love doesn't always end with shouting. Sometimes it ends with a sigh, a pause, and two people realizing they're not who they were when they started. Still, deep down, there was a flicker of something, maybe guilt, maybe hope. Kirk started showing up at her boutique again, bringing lunch, acting normal. And even though Rashida didn't send him away, she didn't welcome him the same either. Polite, distant, but not cruel. The kind of calm that comes after you've cried too much to cry anymore. She posted a quote one day that said, "Closure is not always conversation. Sometimes it's acceptance." Fans knew exactly who it was about. And that's when the narrative started shifting from "Kirk messed up again" to "Rashida deserves better." Her supporters started calling her the definition of strength, not because she stayed, but because she didn't let it break her spirit this time. The truth is, Atlanta gossip comes and goes, but love stories like theirs linger, messy, complicated, real. And maybe that's why people care so much. Because everyone's been there, in that gray area between holding on and letting go. For now, Kirk's still trying to prove himself, and Rashida still moving like a woman who's done explaining. The world's still watching, still waiting, wondering if this is the final. Honestly, it feels like we've been here before, right? Kirk Frost and these mystery meetups always seem to come back around, like reruns we didn't ask for. But I want to know what y'all think. Do you believe Kirk was really out here doing business? Or was it giving too familiar, too secret, too suspicious? Because baby, the body language in that clip was telling a whole different story. And let's be real, Rashida's been carrying herself like a boss through it all. Calm, collected, and done playing therapist to someone who keeps breaking the same rules. And if that's not growth, I don't know what is. So here's my question to y'all. Is forgiveness really strength if it keeps you stuck? Because I swear, Rashida's the blueprint for every woman who's ever had to smile through a storm. But at some point, peace gotta mean more than loyalty. And if Kirk's still out here testing her patience after all these years, maybe it's time for her to stop saving a man who doesn't want to save himself. Period. But hey, maybe I'm being too hard. Maybe Kirk's telling the truth this time. Maybe it really was just business. Or maybe it's just another round of Kirk. What are you doing? The Atlanta edition. Either way, I'm keeping my eye on this story. Because we all know how fast a simple misunderstanding can turn into another love and hip-hop plot twist. And if you've been here before, you already know I got the tea first. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn your notifications on, and don't know, the tea is always hot over here.